about to play Happy Home.
So this is a tile drafting game, but before we get into it, don't forget to
like and subscribe.
Because board games are awesome, and that's what we do here at Legends of Nirvana. Now, Randy, can you tell us a little bit more about Happy Home?
I can. So this is a 2024 release. It has not released in retail yet. It's got a Q3 of 2024 release date, so should be coming up soon. Current rating on Board Game Geek is 6.6. The rank is 17,792. It's a 2 to 5 player game, average length of 20 to 45 minutes. That's very actual. Age is 7 and up. Designed by Matthew Dunstan and Brett J. Gilbert. Art is by Ekaterina Boguslavskaya. I'm sure I mispronounced that and I apologize. Published by Alley Cat Games. It is, as you mentioned, tile drafting placement, set collection game. It's got a turn order system very similar to Patchwork, if you've played Patchwork. And it's currently on Board Game Geek with a pre-order of $24.99 from Amazon or a pre-order of $18.99 from Card House. So Card House looks like to be the clear winner here.
All right, so let's get into quality of components. This game is a little simple on the quality of components. You got some cardboard, Tetris-like tiles. You have your player board, which is, again, cardboard. The one thing that's slightly cool is that the screen printing on your little workers.
I had Crazy Cat Lady.
Yeah, I don't know, dude with a beanie. So yeah, other than that, I mean, it's cardboard. I'm gonna give this a 5. There's nothing. Yeah, the
cards
fine.
are not linen finish. They're very flimsy, and they're small size, so you're going to need a very specialized sleeve, probably a mini Euro. And yeah, there's nothing outstanding about it. I will probably give it a 5.5 just because of the screen printed meeples, which is a little nicer than what you would get in Catan.
I think that it's nothing special, but it's
functional.
It's fun. You're right. The cards are flimsy, but I like it. I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay, cool. All right, so moving on to the actual theme, you are trying to
furnish your home.
And you want to make sure you have all the components because, like, sinks are important, as are bathtubs and toilets and maybe a stove. It just depends what you're looking for. But you kind of have to find everyone else because there's only one of each kind out there. And sometimes there's missing ones because you don't get all the cards.
When you say kind, it's multiple colors of the same one.
Well, so it breaks it up into the room, the type of, like, so you have, like, like in the TV room, you have the sofa, the table, and the TV. Okay, so but you also have the colors. So you kind of have to match, and that's kind of that patchwork theme work. The artwork, I think, is okay. Nothing, it's like an old, it's like an old
Some of it looks
home.
like 1960s,
70s, 60s, 70s, kind of modern kind of thing. I'm not a huge fan of that type of fashion sense, but for the game,
I think it's
fine.
funny that you called 60s and 70s modern, so I'm good with that.
Well, no, it's a particular, the late 1950s and 1960s, they had a little era called the modern style. Anyway.
So we're in the future now.
Something. Classical modern, that's what it is. Or something like that.
I'm classical modern, thank you.
Yeah, pretty much. So, not a huge fan of it, but it's fine, it works. I'm probably going to give this a 5 on this as well. There's nothing spectacular.
Yeah, I find it humorous that there's scratches all thrown on the floor, like damage marks, and you're just trying to lay over it and hide it.
Not actually fix it.
Not fix the problem. You're just putting tiles over it to cover it up. So, yeah, I think it's pretty funny. So, it's very realistic to what you might do in your home.
Except for
run over it. Somebody falls through the hole. It's not a big deal.
Well, except for some of these placement choices. Let me tell you something.
Well, it's a game.
So,
If you want to put 5 toilets in your bathroom, go ahead. You can do that in this game.
But Mommy didn't even have a toilet, so.
Well, I mean, at least I had a sink and a bathtub.
I had 2
I could make it
sinks.
work.
I mean, you need 2 sinks. It's like a natural thing.
Yeah.
So I will say, although it's nothing special, I still had fun actually placing. Like, I had fun making a little house, and like we made fun of each other for it. About some of our placement choices, and so in that aspect, that was a little bit of fun. But there's still nothing like spectacular.
Yeah, I mean,
about
the
it, but
art's
it's
very
cute.
cartoonish and basic. The color system works really well on
Yes,
the
it does.
cards if you don't have color blindness issues. But if you do,
They
there
do,
are shapes
yeah.
in the corner that you can use, but they're very tiny. So, as long as you have good eyesight, if you are suffering from color blindness, apart from that, you can still see the shapes and make the determination of whether they match or don't match.
So, what was your score on theme?
It's a fun little thing. I don't think there's anything special about the art, but it makes sense with the gameplay, and this being as cheap of a game as it is, I'll probably go ahead and give it a 7.
Okay.
Okay, I really like the art. I like how it's so simple, but like fun, like your little bed. It's not little, but I like your bed. It's like one big pillow and a small pillow, and it has a pattern. I just like simplistic, and I just like it. I'm gonna give it an 8 because I really like the theme. I think it's cute and it's fun. I really like the art, like the little plants. I love that.
I love the spider.
I
plant
love
myself.
it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm glad you do, baby. All right, so moving on to the rule book. This was a pretty easy learn.
Well, I wouldn't call it a rule book. I'd call it a rule paper. It's just slides open. It's one big giant page. It's kind of weird because it's vertical. It's not horizontal like you would normally see. But it's got no cover. It goes straight into the contents, but they are pictured. Really nice, clear picture. You've got the setup. It's real easy to set up. Basically, the only thing you might refer this back to, which I do every time, is how many cards to remove based on player count. And then you're going to put your cards into the display. And then shoot. It's all drafting. I mean, it's not a lot to it. Final scoring is very simplistic as well, which we'll get into with the gameplay. I mean, it does its job. It's only a page, 2 pages long, if you want to call this one big page, 4 if you consider it being folded. I think I'll go ahead and, it's not my favorite style, but for this game and what it is, what you need to get into this game, I think it does its job. I'll give it an 8.
Okay, cool. All right, so moving on to actual gameplay. So around the board, there will be cards, and people need to put their workers out to kind of get a...
Yeah, so you're going to have,
I'm all the way over there.
based upon turn order, you're going to have your people in position so that whoever is in the back position will have first movement, just like in Patchwork.
Yeah, so I would end up going, and I would try to pick something that really matches with what I've got going on here. Now, I'm actually short. Most of these are my cards, so it doesn't really
it's
matter.
not going to matter. You're
So,
not gonna
so I'm gonna go over here, and I'll end up. I can go as far as I want. So, say if I really need this living room table, I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna pick this up. I'm gonna place it down. I'm gonna find that shape, and I'm gonna try to put it inside my living room. Now, the one thing to keep in mind is there's a couple of things I'm looking for. We obviously mentioned color. Now, if for every color that you have in multiple rooms, so if you have them in 3 rooms, you get 2 victory points, but if you have them in all 4 rooms, it's 5 victory points. So that's pretty snazzy.
That's the one aspect of this game that I understand why they went this way from a scoring perspective. It just doesn't make logical sense. Normally you would try to match your furniture in the room, but this one you want to have different colors.
Well, you're trying to make sure that the whole house has a kind of
Yeah, but
cohesiveness.
if you walk into somebody's house and you see they have a green couch with a pink table and a blue television, it's going to throw you off.
I mean, it's fine.
I mean, like, and an orange toilet. Where did orange come from with the paint?
You got it. Hey, it's classical modern, all right, guys. This
Yeah.
is
Well,
thing
the
you
colors
think
don't bother me. It's the fact that your bathroom has a pink sink with an orange tub that would be distracting, and a green toilet potentially.
Yeah, I know, but it is what it is. All right, then also the furniture sets. So like I mentioned before, in every single room there are 3 different kinds, and you're trying to get those 3 kinds in each of those rooms. If you do that, you'll get more victory points based on how many of the different types that you have. Now, the other thing that we haven't mentioned really is the potted plants. So the potted plants get placed, and any empty adjacent tile you'll get a victory point for.
Orthogonally adjacent, though. Diagonals do not count.
Yes, correct. And then the last one is if scratches are exposed, and you kind of already mentioned that that you literally put stuff on top of the scratches,
because
so
they're
they don't
negative
count.
victory points if you don't.
Correct.
And then there's always a card that everybody gets a bonus for at the end of the game, which is, in this case, it was a perfect fit card, and that meant that you got points if there was a piece of furniture in your house that was touched by multiple items in the room.
3 or 4.
So you can get bonus points that were worth up to, it was 3 and 7 if you had 4. So yeah, there's lots of different ways to score, but they're all pretty much those same ways. So you've got, lots of different scoring that you do. One for each room, one for each color within the rooms that you've transferred to multiple rooms.
And then the potted plants,
Yeah.
and then the scratches. Overall, I actually really enjoyed this. I always like Tetris games. I kind of like the theme with the fact that you're making your house, and even though it will never make sense with the way you're having to put your tiles, but it's still kind of fun to try to pretend to make this all work if you were going to do a house. So I actually really enjoyed this game quite a bit. I would definitely play this again and again and again. It's light, it's easy to the table, it's easy to teach, and I actually enjoy it. Even as a heavy gamer, I'm like, I'm fine playing this. I'm going to give it an 8. I liked it a lot.
I could agree with you. I was thinking an 8. But I think it's so fun to, like, play around with it. And it's like, sometimes you'll just block yourself in. You won't even be able to, like, get to your bed, you know? Or in Daddy's, you can't even get to his dining room table. Who needs a dining room table anyway?
Well, he has one.
He has one.
Yeah, the only rule is you can't block the doorway. It doesn't say you can't make it an obstacle course to get to your to range.
Well,
where's my refrigerator anyway? Is that the expansion, the refrigerator expansion?
Who knows?
Yeah, right. Why is there no showers either?
Well, you got a tub. You
get tubs.
Everybody takes baths in this mythical city.
Apparently, but I really like the game overall, and I think I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
Oh, you're just trying to beat me.
Okay.
No, well, I also really like the game.
I know, I do too. What about you?
I'm on the other side. I think it's a fine game. It's a little light for me, but it's okay. My biggest concern is the scoring. We came to a dead tie last game.
Yeah, I know. We didn't even get to tie break it.
Yeah, so the first game there was a disparity of scores, so it's not something that happens all the time. But basically, if you tie on score, then the next thing is you count the number of pieces, and whoever has the fewest pieces in the room gets points.
I think the next one should have been if you had gotten this.
The higher number. There's something. But yeah, we went to that and it was the same score again, so because you're going around with, we had 3 players and there's 36 cards if you have 3 players. So that means you're going to net an average of 12. I do think this
was better at 5 players.
It was more fun, I think, although you probably still netted about the same average tile count.
Yeah, but I do think it was more fun with more people.
Yeah, I agree with that. But it played fine with 3.
Oh, yeah, no, it did. I'm just saying it was a lot more fun when there was 5 of us.
Well, we also had Heather here, which always makes things a little...
More fun.
More fun, yeah. She's very passionate when she's building.
And energetic.
Yes. So, yeah, I think I'm more of like a 7 on it. I think it's a fine game. Is it my favorite tile game? Absolutely not. But it's a quick one to teach, and I think it is one that's going to be easy to get people that are light gamers into the gaming of it.
Yep. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We had an absolute blast. Hopefully, you'll come hang out with us again. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye.